Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt like life is spinning out of control? Like no matter what you do, storms just keep coming? What if I told you that the secret to unshakable peace is not found in fixing the world around you, but in mastering the world within you? Many people spend their lives chasing things they cannot control, people's opinions, the economy, the actions of others. But let me tell you something. Power does not come from control over the world. Power comes from control over yourself. There was a time when I thought success was about changing everything around me, but I discovered a truth that changed my life. When you master your mind, nothing can master you. And that's why you must stay with me in this message, because today I'm going to give you the key to a life where nothing can shake you, where disappointments don't break you, where failures don't define you. This is the secret that has sustained the greatest leaders, warriors, and visionaries in history. It is called Stoicism. The greatest battlefield is not out there in the world. It's in your mind. Your mindset determines your reality. When you wake up in the morning, the way you see your day determines whether you will be victorious or defeated before you even take a step. The Stoics understood this truth. You may not control what happens, but you always control how you respond. You don't get to decide if the storm comes, but you do get to decide if you will stand or fall. And here's the truth. Storms don't destroy strong trees. They reveal their strength. Many of us are prisoners, not to chains, but to our own emotions. One moment we're happy, the next we're broken. One day we're motivated, the next we're crushed. But let me tell you something. Emotions are powerful servants, but terrible masters. A person who is led by feelings is like a ship with no captain. Wherever the winds blow, they drift. But the Stoic mindset says, I will feel my emotions, but I will not be ruled by them. Because listen, if anger controls you, you are weak. If fear stops you, you are in bondage. But when you master your emotions, you become unstoppable. Too many people pray for an easy life when what they need to pray for is the strength to handle a tough life. You don't grow when things are easy, you grow when things are tough. Listen, no great leader was ever made in comfort. No warrior was ever trained in peace. Every hardship you face is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to train you. When you face struggles, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because the pain you go through is the preparation for the purpose you are called to. So many of us live stressed and worried because we are trying to control things that are out of our hands. But let me tell you something. Worry is the illusion of control. There are two kinds of things in life, things you can control and things you cannot. Wisdom is knowing the difference. Can you control the weather? No. Can you control what people think about you? No. Can you control what happens tomorrow? No. So why are you stressed? The Stoics understood this secret. Peace comes when you release what you cannot control and take charge of what you can. Point 5. Living with purpose and discipline. A life without discipline is a wasted life. Every person you admire, every great leader you respect is where they are because of discipline. Success is not about luck. It's about habits. It's about mastering yourself daily. The Stoics believed that your daily actions shape your destiny. If you do what is right every day, your future is guaranteed. If you want to be strong, train your mind daily. If you want to be great, discipline yourself daily. Because success is not an accident, it is a decision. Point 6. The legacy of inner strength. I want to ask you a question today. What will your legacy be? When people remember you, will they say you were easily shaken? That you gave up when things got tough? Or will they say you were a person of strength, resilience, and unshakable peace? The Stoics understood something powerful. Legacy is not about what you leave behind. It is about who you become. And today, I challenge you. Become the kind of person that nothing can break. Be the kind of person who stands tall when others fall. The kind of person who remains calm when others panic. Because in the end, your life is not defined by what happened to you, but by how you responded. My friends, life is unpredictable. Storms will come, people will disappoint you, and challenges will arise. But you must decide today. Will you be a victim of life, or will you master it? If you take hold of these principles today, nothing will be able to shake you. Nothing will be able to stop you. And when the storms of life come, you will stand firm, unshaken, and victorious. The world does not need more people who crumble under pressure. It needs people of strength, wisdom, and discipline. Be that person, and you will change not only your life, but the world around you. Everything in life begins in the mind. The way you think determines how you see, how you act, and ultimately what you become. Your mindset is the foundation of your entire existence, shaping your responses to challenges, defining your resilience, and influencing the course of your destiny. When you wake up in the morning, before you take a single step, your mind has already decided whether today will be a day of triumph or a day of defeat. You don't control the events that will happen, but you control how you interpret them. This is where the power of Stoicism transforms an ordinary person into a conqueror, by shifting the battle from the outside world to the inside world, because in reality, the greatest war you will ever fight is not against the world but against the thoughts in your own mind. The Stoics understood that circumstances are neutral. They hold no power over you until you assign them meaning. A storm is just a storm until you decide it is a disaster. A loss is just a loss until you decide it is the end. A setback is just a moment until you decide it is permanent. The way you define life's events determines whether you remain a prisoner of your circumstances or a master of your destiny. Many people believe their success is determined by luck, opportunity, or the fairness of life. But those who rise above the ordinary understand that success is not about what happens to you. It is about how you choose to respond. Two people can go through the same pain. One becomes bitter, the other becomes better. One gives up, the other rises stronger. What made the difference? Mindset. Your mind is like a garden. If you allow negativity, doubt, and fear to take root, they will grow into strongholds that imprison you. But if you plant seeds of resilience, discipline, and wisdom, you will harvest a life of strength and success. The problem with many people is that they wait for life to get better before they change their mindset. They think that once they have more money, they will feel secure. Once people treat them well, they will feel valued. Once they succeed, they will feel confident. But this is an illusion. The external world does not change first, the internal world does. You don't become strong after life gets better. Life gets better after you become strong. A person with the right mindset will take failure and turn it into fuel. They will take rejection and turn it into motivation. They will take pain and transform it into wisdom. A weak mindset says, "I can't do this because it's hard." A strong mindset says, "It's hard, so I must do it." A weak mindset says, "I am a victim of my past." A strong mindset says, "My past is my training ground." A weak mindset says, "If circumstances change, I will change." A strong mindset says, "If I change, my circumstances will follow." This is why some people break under pressure while others thrive. It is not the storm that destroys a person. It is their lack of preparation for the storm. You must decide before the battle begins that you will not surrender. A soldier does not train during war. They train before the war, so that when the moment comes, they are unshaken. The greatest leaders, thinkers, and warriors in history all had one thing in common: a mindset that refused to be defeated. They understood that life will always test you, but your response to the test is what determines your strength. You may not control the problems that come your way, but you control whether those problems shape you or break you. The Stoics lived by this principle. External events are beyond our control, but our inner world is always within our command. They believed that emotions, fears, and doubts should not rule over a person but should be mastered like a well-trained horse. Just as a wild horse must be tamed before it can be ridden, so must the mind be disciplined before it can lead a person to greatness. The greatest tragedy in life is not failure. It is failing to realize that you had the power to rise all along. Many people die without ever using the full capacity of their minds because they allowed life to dictate their limits instead of dictating their own potential. But here is the truth. Life is not happening to you. Life is responding to you. In Dai, you see obstacles as defeats, they will defeat you. But if you see obstacles as stepping stones, they will elevate you. The quality of your life will never rise above the quality of your thinking. Every great achievement began as a thought. Every invention, every empire, every success story, everything first existed in the mind before it became reality. If you want to change your life, start by changing how you think. The greatest enemy you will ever face is not on the outside. It is the battle within you. Your emotions can either be your greatest ally or your most dangerous adversary. Many people believe they are in control of their lives, but in reality, they are controlled by their emotions. One moment they are full of passion and energy. The next moment they are defeated by doubt and fear. One day they are driven and focused. The next, they are crushed by disappointment. This is why the ability to master your emotions is one of the most powerful skills a person can ever develop. Those who fail to control their emotions become slaves to their circumstances, while those who master their emotions become masters of their destiny. Emotions are powerful, and they were given to us for a reason. Fear can protect you from danger. Anger can fuel action against injustice. Sadness can lead to deep reflection and growth. However, emotions were never meant to control you. They were meant to serve you. The problem is not emotions themselves. The problem is when emotions dictate decisions. When a person is ruled by emotions, they become like a ship without a captain, tossed by the winds of life, never stable, never in control. One negative comment ruins their entire day. One rejection convinces them they are worthless. One failure makes them give up on their dreams. This is not strength. This is bondage. The Stoics understood that emotions must be disciplined. They believed that the key to power was not to suppress emotions but to train them, just as a warrior trains for battle. Imagine a soldier in the heat of war letting fear control him. He would not survive. Imagine a leader making decisions based on anger. He would destroy everything he built. Strength is not found in the absence of emotions, but in the ability to control them. A person who masters their emotions remains calm in the storm, focused in the fire, and unshaken in the face of adversity. Most people live in reaction mode. Something happens, and they react without thinking. Someone insults them, and they lash out. A situation goes wrong, and they panic. They allow external circumstances to dictate their internal state. But true strength is the ability to pause, assess, and choose the best response. Between every emotion and action, there is a moment of choice. And in that moment, your destiny is decided. A disciplined mind does not react. It responds. It does not explode in anger. It analyzes and acts with wisdom. It does not crumble under fear. It acknowledges the fear and moves forward anyway. The problem with allowing emotions to lead you is that emotions are temporary, but their consequences can be permanent. A word spoken in anger can destroy a relationship forever. A decision made in fear can rob you of an opportunity that may never come again. An action taken in desperation can lead to regret that lasts a lifetime. This is why mastering emotions is not just a skill. It is a necessity for success, for leadership, for wisdom, and for peace. Think of the greatest leaders, warriors, and thinkers in history. They did not achieve greatness because they had easy lives. They became great because they refused to let emotions weaken them. When others panicked, they remained steady. When others gave up, they pressed on. When others let emotions control them, they chose to control their emotions. A person who is ruled by emotions is unpredictable, unreliable, and easily manipulated. But a person who is in control of their emotions is powerful, unshaken, and unstoppable. To master your emotions, you must practice discipline daily. When anger rises, pause before you speak. When fear grips you, move forward despite the fear. When disappointment comes, remind yourself that emotions pass, but strength remains. The goal is not to feel nothing. The goal is to never let feelings become your master. Because the truth is, the person who controls their emotions controls their future. Every person will face adversity in life. It is unavoidable, unpredictable, and often uncomfortable. But what most people fail to realize is that adversity is not sent to destroy them. It is sent to develop them. The difference between those who rise and those who fall is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to turn struggle into strength. Many people spend their lives running from hardship, avoiding challenges, and praying for an easy road. But here is the truth. Ease never produces greatness. No warrior was ever trained in comfort. No leader was ever built without battle. No wise person ever gained wisdom without first facing difficulty. Most people see adversity as an enemy, but the wise see it as a teacher. A person who has never faced difficulty has never been tested, and what is untested is unreliable. A soldier who has never been to war may wear the uniform, but he has not yet proven his strength. If you want to change your life, start by changing how you think. The greatest enemy you will ever face is not on the outside. It is the battle within you. Your emotions can either be your greatest ally or your most dangerous adversary. Many people believe they are in control of their lives, but in reality, they are controlled by their emotions. One moment they are full of passion and energy. The next moment they are defeated by doubt and fear. One day they are driven and focused. The next, they are crushed by disappointment. This is why the ability to master your emotions is one of the most powerful skills a person can ever develop. Those who fail to control their emotions become slaves to their circumstances, while those who master their emotions become masters of their destiny. Emotions are powerful, and they were given to us for a reason. Fear can protect you from danger. Anger can fuel action against injustice. Sadness can lead to deep reflection and growth. However, emotions were never meant to control you. They were meant to serve you. The problem is not emotions themselves. The problem is when emotions dictate decisions. When a person is ruled by emotions, they become like a ship without a captain, tossed by the winds of life, never stable, never in control. One negative comment ruins their entire day. One rejection convinces them they are worthless. One failure makes them give up on their dreams. This is not strength. This is bondage. The Stoics understood that emotions must be disciplined. They believed that the key to power was not to suppress emotions but to train them, just as a warrior trains for battle. Imagine a soldier in the heat of war letting fear control him. He would not survive. Imagine a leader making decisions based on anger. He would destroy everything he built. Strength is not found in the absence of emotions, but in the ability to control them. A person who masters their emotions remains calm in the storm, focused in the fire, and unshaken in the face of adversity. Most people live in reaction mode. Something happens, and they react without thinking. Someone insults them, and they lash out. A situation goes wrong, and they panic. They allow external circumstances to dictate their internal state. But true strength is the ability to pause, assess, and choose the best response. Between every emotion and action, there is a moment of choice. And in that moment, your destiny is decided. A disciplined mind does not react. It responds. It does not explode in anger. It analyzes and acts with wisdom. It does not crumble under fear. It acknowledges the fear and moves forward anyway. The problem with allowing emotions to lead you is that emotions are temporary, but their consequences can be permanent. A word spoken in anger can destroy a relationship forever. A decision made in fear can rob you of an opportunity that may never come again. An action taken in desperation can lead to regret that lasts a lifetime. This is why mastering emotions is not just a skill. It is a necessity for success, for leadership, for wisdom, and for peace. Think of the greatest leaders, warriors, and thinkers in history. They did not achieve greatness because they had easy lives. They became great because they refused to let emotions weaken them. When others panicked, they remained steady. When others gave up, they pressed on. When others let emotions control them, they chose to control their emotions. A person who is ruled by emotions is unpredictable, unreliable, and easily manipulated. But a person who is in control of their emotions is powerful, unshaken, and unstoppable. To master your emotions, you must practice discipline daily. When anger rises, pause before you speak. When fear grips you, move forward despite the fear. When disappointment comes, remind yourself that emotions pass, but strength remains. The goal is not to feel nothing. The goal is to never let feelings become your master. Because the truth is, the person who controls their emotions controls their future. Every person will face adversity in life. It is unavoidable, unpredictable, and often uncomfortable. But what most people fail to realize is that adversity is not sent to destroy them. It is sent to develop them. The difference between those who rise and those who fall is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to turn struggle into strength. Many people spend their lives running from hardship, avoiding challenges, and praying for an easy road. But here is the truth. Ease never produces greatness. No warrior was ever trained in comfort. No leader was ever built without battle. No wise person ever gained wisdom without first facing difficulty. Most people see adversity as an enemy, but the wise see it as a teacher. A person who has never faced difficulty has never been tested, and what is untested is unreliable. A soldier who has never been to war may wear the uniform, but he has not yet proven his strength. A ship that has never faced a storm may float, but its durability remains unknown. A mind that has never endured challenges may seem strong, but it has not yet been forged in the fire of experience. Adversity does not come to break you. It comes to reveal you. It shows you who you really are. It exposes your weaknesses, refines your character, and forces you to grow in ways you never would have in comfort. Too many people waste their trials by complaining instead of learning. When difficulty comes, they ask, "Why is this happening to me?" instead of asking, "What is this teaching me?" Every hardship carries a lesson, but only those with the right mindset will discover it. A person who resents adversity will remain a victim, but a person who embraces it will become victorious. Pain is not the problem. Your perception of pain is. The same fire that melts wax hardens steel. The difference is not the fire. The difference is what it is burning. Weak people crumble under pressure. Strong people use pressure to become unbreakable. Think about the strongest individuals in history. They were not shaped by ease. They were molded by struggle. They did not grow through comfort. They were refined through fire. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that suffering was not something to be feared, but something to be used. If life removes comfort, it is an opportunity to build endurance. If life brings loss, it is an opportunity to develop resilience. If life presents obstacles, it is an opportunity to cultivate wisdom. Nothing is wasted in the life of a person who chooses to learn. One of the greatest secrets to a strong life is accepting that adversity is inevitable. Many people believe that life is unfair when they face struggles, but fairness has nothing to do with it. The rain falls on both the strong and the weak. The storm comes for both the prepared and the unprepared. The difference is in how you respond. When some people fall, they stay down. When others fall, they get back up stronger than before. What determines your future is not the hardship you face, but the strength you develop through it. If you shift your mindset, you will never see adversity the same way again. Instead of being bitter, you will become better. Instead of seeing obstacles, you will see opportunities. Instead of avoiding challenges, you will embrace them as tools for transformation. You cannot control what life throws at you, but you can control whether it makes you weaker or wiser. Because in the end, adversity is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. One of the greatest sources of suffering in life is trying to control what is beyond your power. Many people live in constant frustration, anxiety, and disappointment because they invest their energy in things they cannot change. They stress over how others see them. They lose sleep worrying about the future. They carry anger about past events that cannot be undone. But the truth is, control is an illusion. The only thing you truly have power over is yourself, your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. Everything else is beyond your reach. And the sooner you accept this, the freer you will become. The Stoics understood that peace is found not in controlling the world, but in controlling the self. They believed that suffering comes from attachment. Attachment to outcomes, attachment to people's opinions, attachment to external circumstances. But here's the problem. When your happiness depends on things you cannot control, you will always be a prisoner to uncertainty. If your peace is tied to how others treat you, you will be constantly unsettled. If your joy depends on success, you will be crushed when failure comes. If your confidence is rooted in approval, you will live in fear of rejection. This is why detachment is not weakness, it is strength. It is the ability to stand firm no matter what happens around you, because your stability comes from within, not from external conditions. Many people misunderstand detachment. They think it means not caring, being cold, or lacking passion. But true detachment is not about rejecting life. It is about embracing it fully without being enslaved by it. It means loving deeply but not being destroyed if someone leaves. It means striving for success but not being shattered by failure. It means giving your best effort but not being obsessed with the outcome. A person who is truly detached is not indifferent. They are free. Free from unnecessary suffering, free from fear, free from the emotional roller coaster that comes from chasing things outside their control. The key to detachment is focus. You must learn to shift your energy away from what you cannot control and direct it toward what you can. You cannot control the economy, but you can control how you adapt. You cannot control other people's actions, but you can control your response. You cannot control what happens tomorrow, but you can control how you prepare today. The more you focus on what is within your power, the stronger you become. But the more you obsess over what is beyond your reach, the weaker you feel. Many people exhaust themselves fighting battles they were never meant to fight. They argue to change people who refuse to change. They stress over possibilities that may never happen. They waste years trying to rewrite the past instead of building the future. But when you finally let go, when you release what you cannot control, you discover a power you never knew you had. The power to shape your own mind, your own actions, and ultimately, your own destiny. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm. The wind is howling, the rain is pouring, and the waves are crashing. You have two choices. You can try to stop the storm, which is impossible, or you can stand firm, unshaken, knowing that the storm will pass, but your strength will remain. This is detachment, not fighting the uncontrollable, but mastering the controllable. When you live this way, nothing outside of you has power over you. You are no longer a puppet to circumstances, no longer a slave to opinions, no longer at the mercy of the world. You become unshakable, immovable, and truly free. Desire is one of the most powerful forces in human nature. It drives people to achieve, to build, to strive for more. But uncontrolled desire is also one of the greatest sources of suffering. Many people spend their lives chasing pleasure, success, and validation, believing that once they attain these things, they will finally be happy. But the problem is, desire is never satisfied. The moment you achieve one goal, another craving appears. The moment you acquire one thing, a new longing takes its place. This endless pursuit of more keeps people trapped in a cycle of frustration, restlessness, and disappointment. The Stoics understood this well. They believed that true power is not found in chasing desires, but in mastering them. Because the person who is controlled by desire will always be a slave to circumstances, but the person who controls desire will always be free. Discipline is the ability to say no when every part of you wants to say yes. It is the strength to deny momentary pleasure in pursuit of lasting purpose. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack discipline. They want success but are unwilling to endure the process. They desire greatness but refuse to sacrifice for it. They seek wisdom but do not commit to learning. They crave a strong body but reject the discipline of training. Every achievement in life is on the other side of discipline, and those who lack it will always be at the mercy of their impulses. The world teaches people to follow their feelings, but this is the fastest way to failure. Feelings are temporary, unstable, and unreliable. One day you feel motivated, the next you don't. One moment you are excited about your goals, the next you feel overwhelmed and give up. A person who is led by feelings will never accomplish anything lasting because emotions are like the wind, constantly shifting. But a person led by discipline is like a tree, deeply rooted, unshaken by the changing weather of life. Discipline is freedom. It may seem like restriction, but it is actually the key to true power. The person who disciplines their mind is not controlled by distractions. The person who disciplines their body is not controlled by laziness. The person who disciplines their emotions is not controlled by impulse. Many people think freedom means doing whatever they feel like, but this only leads to weakness. True freedom is the ability to command yourself, to wake up early when you want to sleep in, to work hard when you feel lazy, to stay focused when distractions call your name. The strongest people are not those who indulge every desire, but those who have learned to master themselves. Greatness does not come from comfort. It comes from sacrifice. Every successful person, every great leader, every strong individual has built their life on discipline. They trained when no one was watching. They endured hardship when quitting was easier. They remained consistent when motivation faded. The road to mastery is paved with discipline, and those who refuse to walk it will never reach their full potential. If you want to change your life, do not ask yourself what you feel like doing. Ask yourself what must be done. Stop waiting for motivation. It is unreliable. Stop depending on inspiration. It comes and goes. Instead, build a life on discipline. Wake up, take action, and repeat, no matter how you feel. Because in the end, it is not desire that shapes destiny. It is discipline. In a world that glorifies wealth, power, and status, many people believe that success is measured by what they achieve, acquire, or control. They chase after recognition, material possessions, and external validation, believing that once they reach a certain level, they will finally feel fulfilled. But the truth is, none of these things guarantee a meaningful life. Money can be lost, power can fade, and status can change overnight. But there is one thing that no external force can take from you: your character. And that is why the Stoics taught that the ultimate measure of success is not what you have, but who you are. Virtue is the foundation of a life that cannot be shaken. It is the internal strength that remains firm regardless of circumstances. A person of virtue does not compromise their integrity for temporary gain. They do not sacrifice their values for approval. They do not betray their principles for convenience. In a world that constantly shifts, virtue is the anchor that keeps you steady. Many people believe they can separate success from morality, that they can achieve greatness without character. But history has proven otherwise. Those who build without virtue eventually collapse. Empires fall when greed replaces wisdom. Leaders crumble when ego replaces humility. Individuals self-destruct when they prioritize ambition over integrity. No matter how high you rise, if you lack virtue, your foundation is weak, and it is only a matter of time before everything comes crashing down. The Stoics understood that true success is not about what you gain, but about who you become in the process. Wealth means nothing if it corrupts your soul. Power is useless if it turns you into a tyrant. Influence is meaningless if it is built on deception. But a person who cultivates wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline possesses a success that cannot be taken away. Because external success is temporary, but internal greatness is eternal. The person who lives with virtue will have peace, regardless of their position. They will have fulfillment, regardless of their wealth. They will have honor, regardless of recognition. This is why the strongest people in history were not those with the most riches, but those with the most character. The pursuit of virtue requires self-awareness. It demands that you ask yourself, who am I becoming? Instead of, what am I achieving? Many people are so focused on getting ahead that they never stop to ask if they are becoming the type of person they truly admire. They compromise their values for success only to realize too late that they have lost themselves in the process. But true greatness is not found in what you accomplish. It is found in how you live. The path of virtue is not easy, but it is the only path that leads to lasting fulfillment. It requires you to choose honesty when deception would be easier. It requires you to choose discipline when indulgence is tempting. It requires you to choose wisdom when impulse calls your name. But in the end, a life built on virtue is a life that cannot be shaken. Because when everything else fades, when titles, wealth, and recognition disappear, what remains is the kind of person you chose to be. And that, above all else, is the ultimate measure of success. Life is unpredictable. Storms will come, challenges will arise, and circumstances will shift. But the person who embraces Stoicism, who masters their emotions, learns from adversity, detaches from the uncontrollable, chooses discipline over desire, and builds their life on virtue, becomes unshakable. They are not controlled by fear, not weakened by hardship, not enslaved by their impulses, and not defined by external success. They walk through life with a steady mind, an unbreakable spirit, and a clear purpose. Many people spend their lives seeking comfort, avoiding struggle, and chasing temporary pleasure, only to find themselves restless, anxious, and unfulfilled. But those who choose the path of strength, those who embrace discomfort, discipline their minds, and commit to becoming the best version of themselves, will discover a deeper power. A power that cannot be taken by loss, destroyed by failure, or swayed by the opinions of others. The greatest freedom is not found in wealth or status, it is found in self-mastery. And the greatest success is not in what you possess, but in who you become. Because when the storms of life rage, when everything around you shakes, the person who has mastered Stoicism will stand firm, not because life is easy, but because they have built a life that cannot be broken. So I leave you with this. Do not seek an easy life, seek a strong mind. Do not chase comfort, chase wisdom. Do not depend on the world to give you peace. Build it within yourself. Because in the end, the person who controls themselves controls their destiny. And that is the greatest power of all.